Hi friends, welcome to this session of learning in SQL Server. So what I have today to discuss is a very typical scenario which I have encountered. Maybe it will be helpful to some of you. So let's see. So the requirement is something like this. I have shared videos on mirroring and replications of on all the types of replication, how to set up set them up, and those are pretty basic settings for replication. Now currently what we will be discussing here is a scenario is something like this. We where I mean a database is also replicating data and at the same time is mirrored. So what I have in the SQL Server, I have three instances of SQL Server running on my system. This is instance 1, that is the default instance, and the two named instances, second and the third instance. Right now the scenario goes something like this. Instance 1, SQL Server instance 1 as will be acting as a distributor, and instance 2 and 3. Now in instance 2 we have a database called workdb. So workdb has a table called student, and this student's data is being this is the publisher, actual publisher, server, database and table. This is actually publishing the table, and it is being subscribed by SQL Server instance 1, I mean the default instance, work db, and the same table. So that is the subscriber, but the difference is the distributor, complete distributor, is being configured on this in this instance. That is, all the agent jobs that we have will be running on my SQL Server account. So that say consider that this is my transaction database, so transaction server. So I do not want to overload the work that is being done. So I want all my agent jobs to be running on the distributor instance. uh, and now so this is the simple transactional replication which is happening, student. Now we also will be mirroring the database, transaction database on SQL instance 3. So we'll have a work database, and the complete database will be mirrored. So this will be mirrored with this mirrored. Now so this is mirroring is happening between 2 and 3, and replication between from 2 to 1. Now what is the requirement is when there is a failover happening, I mean when this is acting, when 2 is acting as an active instance, it is replicating data to 1. This is fine, and it will work. But the requirement is when there is a failover, say 2 goes down. In that scenario, when 2 goes down, we should be the 3 becomes the active, because it is a mirrored instance. This SQL Server 3 third instance hosting the workdb will be the active one, right? So we still want to have mirroring, replication happening from 2 to the first. So that is what is the requirement, so that whenever there is a failover between any instance of the mirror, it should be replicating data without any concerns. So that is what we will be going to implement. So let's see how we do it, and I advise you for how to configure distributors and replication, how to set up transactional replication and or mirroring. You please refer the videos that I have uploaded some time back, with the details of the same. So here I'll be just doing that in a very quick manner, not to so that we can focus entirely upon the concept that we are trying to achieve, achieve here, the problem that we are trying to address, and will not go into the detail on how to configure mirroring or how to configure transactional replication or distributor. So okay, the first step I'm going to do is configure a distribution. So I do not have any distributor as of now in the system databases. I will just try to configure a distributor. So it will be acting as a distributor for these two SQL Server instances as well. I mean the servers as well. That is what I have done. That's all. So that the distributor is configured. The next step is I have the work DB which is having a table called student, right? So I'm creating a publication. This is the server, that is the distributor, right? I'm going to publish my student article. Okay. So now we have created the publication. Before we create the subscription, there is something I need to show. So if we go ahead and check the distributor properties, I want you to see profile defaults. These are all the agent jobs that run. So on the distributor agent. So basically here what is we since we are doing a transactional replication, there is a change that we need to make, which is what I am trying to show. So I create, these are actually what agent profiles look like is this will have certain properties. Okay, I'll show all of them. So these are the properties of how many records and stuff. So basically there is one property which needs to be set up. What is that? That is the publisher failover. If you look at this, there is a publish partner failover. So what I want, what we would be setting is, if in case of any failover, where will this agent job go and check for the logs to apply the changes. So if we, since we are setting up from second instance, I would say you please go and check on the third instance if there is a failover happening, right? So what I do is I create a new and use it. It will go and check for third instance. Now we'll enable this. I mean, we want this profile to be used. So if you go and check this value publish failover, it's pinging the third instance. So that's one change that we have made, and just set it to OK. Now if you go and check, there is no database in the third instance with workdb. We'll do that once we start setting up mirroring. So currently let me just query the contents from the publish end. Okay, this is the table on the second instance. So okay, let me subscribe this table. I create a subscription on my default instance, and the publisher is the second instance. Cool. So we got this publish. We'll run it at the distributor, and what we do is, I don't advise this, but since this is my laptop, I'm doing this. We'd rather use an account, and thus that completes my transactional replication subscription settings. So I've subscribed the article student, so that's done. Now let me go ahead. I have a work db. If I select a new query on this from student, okay, I got that. Now let me update and see if the data is flowing. Okay, this is the publisher. Now let me check with the subscriber if the data is flowing or not. It is a push, so it will rather be on this side, I guess. Yeah, we have the subscription. Okay, let me check the application monitor. Okay friends, so what I did is I just dropped the publication and recreated it because of my last some of my works. So I just recreated the publication with the name of workdb student pubs, and then we have the subscription. It has been done in the same way. So now we if let's just look and update the value. and see if the data is flowing or not. It's important to check the data flow is happening or not. This is the publication server, which was the second one. So if you again see, it's gone to blue, and yeah, so data is flowing. Let's just do it green, just a check, just a random check. Yeah, so data is flowing from my second instance to the default first instance. Now there is the second step that we need to follow. I mean, this is to do with mirroring. So the first thing that we do is take the backup. I mean, this is all we do for setting up mirroring. So I hope you remember how to perform mirroring. So this is going to be the full backup of the database. Okay, and I would also take, just in case you for some of the people, just as a good practice, it's good to take a transactional log backup as well. So what we, the same place, okay. So we have first taken a complete backup, full backup, and then transactional log backup. Again, to rewind and remember, for mirroring, your database should be in full recovery mode. That is something to be taken care of. Now we will be restoring this database on our third instance. So third instance, to set up the mirroring. So I am restoring this database now. Also, the name of the DB should be exactly same, principled and mirrored, both of them. So that's important thing that you need to remember. Now you just go to the file that we have taken the backup, equal folder back, and you have the full backup. So first restore the full backup. Remember to restore it. Remember to restore it in a preserve the replication settings and do with no recovery, and you say OK. So now you see your database in a restoring state because we have done it in the no recovery mode. So now again also restore the transactional log on this, on top of this. Let's restore that as well. It's important that both the databases are complete at the same level of transactions have happened on both the database before you set up the mirroring. Otherwise your mirroring will not work. So yeah, we have the backup, and now we are just going to store it on the no recovery mode. Okay, so we are done. So now we can start setting up the mirroring. Let's see. Configure mirroring. I'm doing it pretty fast. If you wish to know the precise steps and details, you please refer my last video on YouTube on this. Mirrored server instance is on my third instance. Yes. And next. And finish. Okay, I start the mirroring. So the mirroring has been configured and started. Cool. So if you now go and check, your database would be in mirroring in this state, but your second instance database will show principal and synchronized. Cool. So now what we do is, I'm trying to fail over. I'm going to mirror and I will fail over on the third instance. So just click on fail over. This will fail you over to the third instance. That means the second instance will become passive and the first instance will be, as third instance would be your active database, which will you see that the switch has happened. So this is now your principal instance. Now I would like to query. So this is having all the values. Now the question is, since we had set up that change, so the mirroring should still happen from this. If I do it from my third instance, the mirroring should still work, and because the log reader should go and read the data from my third instance because of the settings. Right, you saw that, you just saw that. So that has been able to go ahead and read from that third instance. Now I'll make some changes, maybe rather let's just update this value to maybe so it's purple, and then next I'll just fail over again. Fail over again to my back to my second instance, which was the actual one, which was from where we started. So yeah, so now if we go ahead and query on the second instance, see, the mirroring is working. So right, so mirroring is also working now, because on the third instance we updated something with purple and that has reflected here. Now let me check my, sorry, uh, this is the second instance, right? Yeah, so mirroring is also working. Now if I make some change, it should reflect here as well, so that we can confirm that replication is happening from both the instances, because now the value is green. It does take some time, because it tries to see which is the active one, and then maybe go ahead and implement the log changes by the log reader. You saw that, so the green is also getting replicated. So that was some playing, and again, if you wish to check, you can check it from here as well. You can say agent profiles, the same thing, you can just do that and see the log reader agent. And here the change that we have made, remember that publish failover, we have just changed that to the third instance. So always because the second instance is the actual one, so it will go ahead and check the third instance. If it is not able to find the second instance up, that means if the database, if we fail it over, you'll not be able to query on the third instance, because it is in the restoring state. So that was a typical scenario where replication and mirroring go hand in hand. It's kind of important where when you use mirroring as a high availability scenario, and you have replication as well implemented on the same database. We encountered this, and I really wanted to share it with you all. Thanks a lot, friends. Thank you.